Cyberbrainer is an online training platform designed to help individuals and teams learn the latest technologies and become certified professionals, producing a comprehensive learning experience.
So public reports are basically whatever the reports create by your administrator for entire company uses. That you will find under public reports. I'll go to the home page again. Main is public reports, will be a place where your organization uses your reports, which are created by customer administrators. There is one more prepackaged report, which is Ariba has provided. It's standardly available depending upon your module. Suppose you are taking a sourcing module only, sourcing module related reports only will be available. If you take contract and other suite integrated, you will have access to all type of reports. Apart from that, the third place will be personal workspace. So the difference between personal workspace and public reports is in this space. Whatever the reports which you are creating, which is only visible to you, only the public report which has shown, kept in public reports, will be visible to the company across. So first we'll look at the prepackaged reports, which are basically standard reports provided by Ariba by default to all the customers who were subscribed to the modules. So out of this there are more than enough. These reports will sufficient for your Ariba. There is a limitation on your Ariba reports also. The reports are not up to date. So it will take 6 hours of a time. For example, you created a purchase requisition or purchase order or a contract. Workspace was created. When you run that report, it will not have the latest information. The Ariba will process as a batch process. After at least a minimum of 6 hours, only you will be able to get that item reflected in your reports. That you need to keep in mind. Okay, now in these reports. So what are all the important reports? Approval reports. This is again a folder. Once you click on approval reports, click on open, you will see the details about approval history and pending approval. If you want to see approval history, for example, click on that. Click on open. Then view the report. The system will give you the contract ID or an approvable ID, the approvable ID of a document, what type of a request, what is the current status, when is the action taken, approved by user, approved and all other details. From this screen you can have detailed view or an aggregated view also. Once you click on aggregated view, it will give you total approval count of 637. And you want to see in detail. You expand this down arrow and click on detailed view. So that is with any of the report also where you are seeing it. Then you will also have OK edit option, save option, export option. Any of the prepackaged reports which you have opened. You will not be able to make any changes and overwrite the file. That is one good advantage. If you want to save, you need to take as a copy only and save that in either in your personal workspace or in a public folder. So that is your save option. So you don't need to worry. You can play around with all the prepackaged report. That is not going to correct. Here it is basically, if you want to modify some data in this report, you use the edit option. Export is basically to export to an Excel file or a CSV file, whichever the format that particular reports have made. You see, for example, my dataxels. So it is giving you a pilot view, pivot view, where you can able to access your report. Again, you need to remember that data 637 reports have been expanded. So the data you are saving here in a column format of a probable title on this field when you run the report. Maybe this is not in the same order what you are seeing in the user interface. So that is again a disadvantage from the Ariba. What Ariba is saying is the display view and the export view, which is processed by a database which is not in sync. Not in sync means there is a limitation that is not possible to filter whatever you are seeing in the tool. Okay, now I have exported it. Just to show you most of the cases. If you are getting the same fields, it's all well and good. If it is not coming, then that is not. That is an expected behavior from the Ariba. Anyways, so these reports are generally. I'm sharing my screen. This is the report. So approval ID title, approval sanction, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you are seeing in the Ariba screen that is coming here. You can see the table information pie chart. You can play around using your Excel. Based on your expertise, you can able to play around with the data provided in the Excel sheet. Pie work bar chart. Pie work if you select. Only for marketing. You want to see. You want to see only 2002. Play around and see. Let's go back to the Ariba screen. Okay, now again you also have actions where you can edit in Wizard, save changes. Display as, one export data same, this export and this export same. Export data, configure your export. If you want to configure your export, then you will decide what type of a format you want. Whether you want a pivot area pie chart or bar type pie chart, or you want in a CSV format. In some reports you will find different options also. In this case, these two are options available. So what fields data set you want to customize? Then you can choose whatever the fields you want to export. Dimension fields and other fields also. You can modify and do that. And so that is your export options of configuration. For example, now I will edit. I want to use some additional data. So this is how your reports will be, having 3 steps. First one is the source data, which will also give a kind of overview. What is the title of your report? A brief description about report. So what is containing that report? You will be having report currency. So user preference means whatever the user is having in his currency he is going to see. If company, at last you want to see in US dollars, which is the client currency. So when you are registering the product with the what currency you are loading that currency. User preferences can be changeable. I can go and change my preferences to different currency also. That is your user currency. And what is your company currency? That is US dollars in majority of the cases. Here then the data sources. At least you need to have one data fact, which is main fact, which will decide the content.
Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.